uh, everybody's having a good one. I couldn't get into the studio today due to traveling schedule, but I wanted to make sure that I did jump on here, man. I will not miss a Sunday, right? I don't care what's happening. I will not miss a Sunday. So let's do this real fast. Number one, I want you to do, and I'm jumping right into it today. I want to get right to the point with you guys. I want you to sit down, and I want you to look at the information that you collected over the last week. Okay, over the last week, you see me looking around. I'm just making sure ain't nothing crawling up here on me, right? So I want you to look at the information that you gathered on yourself over the last week. You hear me talk about it all the time, right? You got to make sure that you collect the data, you dissect the data, and you implement the data. All right. These are three things that are extremely important no matter what, right? No matter what it is that you're doing, collect the data, dissect the data, implement the data, right? Collect, dissect, implement. If you follow this, I'm telling you every day, right? Forget every week, every day gets better. So let's talk about this, right? So write that down. First, write that down. I was getting ready to go somewhere else, right? So write that down. I want you to write down the information you collected. Then I want you to take some time today, an hour or so, and I want you to dissect the information. And when you're in the process of dissecting the information, what I want you to do is don't just like have it in your head, right? I want you to write everything down. And when you're dissecting it, I want you to pull out the good, the bad, the ugly. Okay? The good, the bad, the ugly when you're dissecting the information. Now, when you go in, we're going into a whole nother week. So that means you collected, you dissected last week's information. What can you take with you into the new week? All right. What can you take with you into the new week? You don't want to go into a new week with the same bad habits that you had the week before. Okay? You don't want to do that. You want to make sure you're going into the week with a new understanding and new habits and a new mindset so that you can implement things differently. Why am I saying this? Because today we are talking about upgrading your software, right? Upgrading your mental software. So when we're looking at or we're thinking about upgrading your software, what does that mean to you? When you think about upgrading software, right? What does that mean to you? What does it mean? And listen, this is the thing. I see people all day long, right? They're looking at their phones and they're like, hey, did you get the latest update? Hey, did you get the latest update? Oh, I got it. I didn't like that update, or I didn't like that update. I like this one. I didn't like this one. Right? So then the question becomes, have you have you taken time to look at the likes and dislikes of yourself? Okay, school might not go the way you want it to go. You might not be in the school district you want to be in. You might not have the teachers you want to have. All of that stuff, right? I get it. I get it. But at the end of the day, you don't like what you're in because the way you're looking at it, because of the information that you currently have. But when you upgrade your software, your mental software, okay? When you upgrade your mental software, you now start looking at a situation not as bad, but hey, what can I get out of it? What inside of this environment, what inside of this situation, what about these people? I know I don't like them, but I'm only looking at them one way. What happens if I look a totally different way? What happens if I start to look at you not looking for your dislikes, right? What I dislike about you, but I start looking at you and saying, hey, what do you do that I want to learn how to do? How do you act that I would love to pick up that characteristic, right? How do you communicate with people to get the results you're getting? I would love to learn that. The problem is when you don't know, when you don't have a clear insight on what it is that you want, your decisions, right? The way you look at things will never be clear because you're comparing it to things that don't even matter, don't even add up. All right. So you got to look at it and say, yep, I know exactly what I want. So now when I'm around this teacher, when I'm around this friend, when I'm around this group of people, this is what I get out of this group. This is what I get out of this group. I get this out of this group. Now what happens is everything that I do is upgrading my mental software. You're putting yourself right now in the position where you have to be intentional about upgrading your software. It doesn't just automatically happen. When you know exactly what it is you want, right? When you know what it is you want out of life, when you know what it is you want out of your day, and it changes, I get that, right? But when you know what it is, when you're in conversations or you're in environments, your mind automatically grabs the updates, the upgrades, right? And it upgrades on its own. So I need you to get your clarity so that you can upgrade your mental software. All right. Your mental software needs to be upgraded continuously, but we ignore it, right? We ignore our mental upgrades. Why? Because we don't see the value in them. We don't think that it's really important when it really is important. The mental upgrades, right? Mental upgrades is everything. Watch this. Watch this, right? If I want to become a better communicator and all I do is watch interviews, no, let's say this. I want to be an interviewer on my podcast. I want to learn how to interview people. If all I did was watch interview episodes, right? People being interviewed continuously, 5 hours a day, I will naturally become a better interviewer. Why? Because I'm watching it 5 hours a day. I don't have to look and say, oh, let me pick this up or let me pick this up. No, I'm watching it and I'm like, oh, I like that. Oh, you see how they made that conversation extend? So now what happens is because I know just what I want, but I don't know the upgrades that I need right now, but I know what I could be watching to help me. Because I'm there, my mind will start to do the work. Understand this, you have the most expensive computer software. You have the most expensive computer, the the most advanced software available on the planet right here. And it was given to you absolutely free. You paid absolutely nothing for this, but it's the number one computer. The phone I'm holding in my hand was created from somebody's brain, somebody's mental computer. Had the idea, got with someone who had the finances and put it together. So now I'm going live on this phone on a platform that started here with somebody. If you refuse to have mental upgrades continuously, right? If you don't put yourself in environments where you have mental upgrades continuously, it makes it a lot harder. See, when you're going to school, right? You're in school, whether you're in ninth grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th, doesn't matter, right? Any one of these, when you say to yourself, man, my life after high school, I want it to be like this, right? Let's do this. My life after high school, I want to be able to make an income of $5,000, right? I want to be able to make an income of $5,000. Somebody real quick, right? Real quick, put a one in the chat. If you got out of high school and was making $5,000 a month, would that be beneficial to you? Would that help you out? Would that relieve some of the stress that you have, right? Some of the stress that you have, some of the worries that you have. If you was able to leave high school, right? If you was able to leave high school, Black Lives Matter. Yo, absolutely, all lives matter, right? All lives. Listen, if you was able to leave school as soon as you leave school, you made $5,000 out the gate. Would that be okay with you? Would you be happy if you made $5,000 right out of high school? Right out of high school. Put a one in the chat. Put a one in the chat. 5,000 right out of high school. So if you said yes, you know what? I would love to make 5,000. If I made 5,000 right out of high school, man, that would be a great reliever. I'll feel so much better. So what happens now when you say, great, in order to make $5,000 right out of high school, these are the things I need to do. This is the person that I need to become, right? So now every time you think about that $5,000 you want to make out of high school, you think about who you need to become, and that's all you're thinking about consistently, right? Every day, every day. Yep, I need to become this. This is what I need to become. What happens is when you start to see them actions around you, you gravitate towards it. Now you start to get the information that is going to help you get the upgrade that you need to make the $5,000 after high school possible. Let's be clear, man. Do you understand there's people right now that got out of high school and they're making $1,500 a month? $2,000 a month. I'm talking about people 30 years old, 40 years old. They're making $3,000 a month, $3,500 a month, $2,000 a month. I talked to somebody 2 weeks ago, and they're like, "Yeah, I make $1,800 a month." I'm like, "Yo, you're 27 years old. You make what? 1,800 a month? You're 27 years old. Yeah, like, come on, that don't have to be you, right? That don't have to be you. So how do we stop that from being you? We upgrade the mental software continuously. I didn't upgrade my phone, right? I didn't update my phone. You know, updates come through. I didn't update my phone for about 4 months. And then what happened is I was driving one day. I was going from South Carolina, driving up to Atlanta, right? And it's about a 5 hour drive, 5 hour drive, about that, four and a half something, right? And I'm driving up to Atlanta, and my phone, I'm using the GPS because I don't know how to get there. It's my first time driving. So I use my GPS. But because I didn't have no updates, what started to happen is my phone was turning off. It would freeze, and now I don't have access to the map. So I had to reset the phone, right? Hold the buttons and reset the phone for the map to come on, and then I would get like another 5, maybe 10 minutes of being able to have direction. And I had to do this for the whole ride, right? For the whole 5 hours. I had to keep resetting my phone, hoping that I didn't miss a turn, hoping that it didn't blank out right before I was about to get off somewhere. So I'm looking at exits. I got my pen. I'm writing down, oh, exit such and such, right? Just in case, just in case my phone goes off and I can't see. Because I didn't make no updates to my phone for about 4 months, my phone burnt out. It was done. It gave up. It was like, yo, hey, bro, you ain't give me the latest information that I needed. I can't help you now. I had to take my phone. I had to completely reboot the phone. I had to let them plug it in, do some funny stuff to it for my phone to work correctly. I need you to understand that your mental software is extremely important. All right? You have to update that. How do we do that? Every day we make sure we collect, dissect, and implement. Okay? If we collect information on ourselves, our activities, we dissect the information we took in. Now we put together the plan for the week. We got our upgrade. And by doing this over and over, your mind will start looking for upgrades. You'll be in a class, you're like, man, this teacher makes me mad. Man, this assignment don't make no sense. This is foolish. Your mind will start to jump in and say, hold on, what part of this can you use to help get you closer to what you want in the next 12 months? What part of this can you use to help you live the life you want after high school? You see what I'm saying? So you start looking at it different and your mind finds it. So all I need you to do is focus on collecting, dissecting, and implementing the information. Collect the information, dissect the information, put together the new plan, and execute the information. If you do this, your life after high school, man, will be a lot easier. It will be a lot easier, all right? So I need you to keep putting yourself in the right direction, on the right path, so that you can have the results you desire. Listen, I definitely, man, I apologize on the visual, right? I'll make sure that I'm in the studio. I don't give a dag on what's happening. I'll make sure, man, we got our connections dead right. Make sure everything is solid. But for right now, I just couldn't miss today, right? I couldn't miss today. I'm not going to miss today. And that's what I want you guys to understand, man. Everything's not going to be perfect. Everything's not going to go the way you want it to go, but you need to show up. You need to show up every day, right? You need to show up 100% as yourself every day, no exceptions. All right. Listen, you already know I love y'all, and I will see y'all next Sunday. All right. If you are in the group, whether it's the Telegram group or it's the private group, listen, any questions you have, I want you to ask. You are in the reason why I started Life After High School is because there was so many things that I missed coming up that would have helped me to get ahead. There was so many things that I wish somebody came back and told me, right? I didn't have that. So I want to make sure that students nowadays, you're not out here scared of things you don't need to be scared of, right? You're not out here doing things you have no business doing that's going to take away from your life. You are so valuable, but you have to see it first. You have to see it. You have to see your vision before anybody else. So if you notice, I'm always saying you have to first. You have to know that you are valuable, right? Before anybody tells you, you have to know what you want in your life and where you want to go before anybody tells you. And I'm telling you, when you know that, life is easier. All right? That's why life after high school is here. So if you're just jumping on and you're just getting the information on YouTube, listen, phenomenal. I'm here every Sunday, right? We're gonna do this every Sunday. If you're in a group, if you're in one of the groups, listen, make sure you ask questions, all right? And then we got the Q&A that's coming. We got the Q&A that's coming because it makes no sense to have you go through the whole week learning, putting stuff down, but then have questions, but then can't get your questions answered. All right. So we got the Q&A call. All right. Now that call is phenomenal as well. But for now, I want you to take what we talked about today, and I want you to go sit down and I want you to collect the data, dissect the data, implement the data. Okay. So that you continuously upgrade your mental software. You own this. Every time you upgrade this, you own it. Nobody can take it from you. It's yours. You own it. It's your mental software. All right. I don't want to hear you talking about go upgrade your phone. This is better than this. Upgrade the computer. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear I can't do this. I don't want to hear none of it. Anything can be done with the right upgrade. All right. Everything. Right now, if I upgrade this phone and the YouTube app is messed up, after the upgrade, YouTube's gonna come in, they're gonna put in, they're gonna fix the bugs, and they're gonna say, hey, we got another upgrade for you, boom. So now you gotta upgrade it, and then now the bugs are fixed, right? So every time a computer is broken, every time technology don't work, you get an upgrade, and the upgrade fixes the problem. And then sometimes the upgrade makes the problem worse. So they gotta do another upgrade. And then that upgrade fixes a little bit of the problem, so they gotta do another upgrade. I'm saying that because I don't want you guys to be like, I made this upgrade, it didn't work, it did nothing for my life. I made this upgrade, I'm still in the same spot. Listen, the first upgrade might not be it, second one might not be it, the fifth one might not be it. But what if the 21st, the 23rd, what if the 23rd upgrade was the one that gave you everything you wanted, but you only did 5 upgrades? Whose fault is it that it didn't work? Yours. You. Nobody else, right? It's your fault that it didn't work because you needed 23 upgrades. You only did 20. You needed 23 upgrades. You only did 22. You like, man, I did 22. Why it ain't work? Because you ain't do 23. It needs what it needs. Okay? It needs what it needs. So listen, man, you guys stay focused. If you got any questions, post it in the comments. Hit me up directly. If you're in any of the groups, you already know, inbox me. I answer everything directly. All right? I'll see y'all next Sunday, unless you're in one of the groups, right? Then I'll see y'all later today. I can't even see the button. Hit the button. Y'all ain't gonna be laughing at me though. Hold on. It's somewhere around here. I don't know. Right there. Y'all have a good one.